Hello and welcome to the Daily Line at BetRepublic.com. I'm Jarvis Symes. With me is Greg Dempsey, and we're getting ready to look at some college action today as well as the NBA card. Greg, there was a changing of the guard this weekend. Before we get to the game you got bets on, let's look at what happened with Kansas and Syracuse.
Well, what happened was Syracuse went into Freedom Hall in Louisville and were defeated for the second time this season. They lost at home, Syracuse did, and they lost at Louisville. So they were ranked number one. Kansas went into Missouri laying 3 points. They won straight up by 19, so they covered easily. Kansas were number one a couple weeks back. Syracuse was number one last week. This week, Kansas will move back to number one, and I'm guessing Syracuse would probably fall to 3 with Kentucky going to 2, Duke probably at 4. Those will probably be the 4 number one seeds. If you're looking to lay money there, you're going to be putting up big money if you want to wager on Kansas to win the whole thing. A little lesser on the other 3 teams. So we'll see if we can dig up a Cinderella type of team, and we'll get to that.
Everyone's looking for the bracket buster right
Yeah.
now. In one of the college games that's going tonight, we've got Oral Roberts playing against IUPUI. Line on the game's 3.5. The total's 132.5. But Greg has got some numbers on the first half. Greg, what are we looking at for tonight's game?
I like the under in the first half of this game, Jarvis. You've got a great system. It's a semifinal game. 2 teams with winning records playing on a neutral court. Just by playing the under in the first half, just this year, it's 24 out of 28 times the game's gone under the total. So that's a fantastic record. Also, 124 overs, 242 unders. That's 66% with over 366 plays. This is going under the total 66% of the time.
Just play the system and you bank it all along, right?
You've made some serious coins. So the number's 62. I looked at it in other areas too, and it'll be tight. I can see 59 or 60 points. As long as it's less than 62, we come in with a winner.
So official selection for Greg's pick is on Oral Roberts, IUPUI, under 62 in the first half. There's one other game that you wanted to mention, kind of the best of the rest, St. Mary's and Gonzaga.
I like Gonzaga here, Jarvis, and when the line came out this morning at one of the books, it was at -3, -1.10, and I bet on Gonzaga. When I checked back an hour later, it was 3.5 at that book, -1.15, and I went to some other places where I have an accounts app, and they were at -4. So, I hate to give somebody something that I bet at -3 when they have to lay 4, but I do like Gonzaga here. Last year, these 2 teams been in the tournament, and St. Mary's were pummeled by Gonzaga. Gonzaga, even though they're going to be a seeded team, they want to win this game. They want to win the tournament, so that's an important factor to consider. Also, Ben Allen, the Australian, who's really good.
Right.
Gonzaga's always been able to keep him in check. I think they're allowing him about 7.5 points per game. Anytime he's held to less than double digits, they don't perform so well. And Omar Samhan, their star, tweaked his ankle. He wears low-cut sneakers, and if he has to wear high tops, that could affect the way he shoots his ball.
Where are you leaning on this game?
I like Gonzaga on this game.
Gonzaga on this
top
one?
opinion on Gonzaga for you people.
For any of these plays, you come by BetRepublic.com, guys. Check it out. There's an NCAA stadium section. Pop in there. Greg posts his numbers, posts his systems, all of his official plays. There's also the NBA section. Let's go to the NBA now. Shift gears a little bit. 5 games on the card tonight. Starting things off with San Antonio and Cleveland quickly. We've got injury news. We've seen line movement out of that game that is obviously the only kind of line moves you're going to see when you've got LeBron James injured. He missed the last game with an ankle injury, was early listed as questionable for this matchup. It looks like he's not going to play. It looks like the line has ghosted out at -8 Cleveland. We've seen it drop down throughout the day. Now it's sitting at around -2. The total has also come down. Injury noted of San Antonio. Tony Parker broke his hand in his last matchup. He's out for up to 6 weeks. Greg, with that game there was you had some numbers earlier on Cleveland.
I had some numbers on Cleveland, Jarvis, but it's tough. Like LeBron didn't play when they went into Milwaukee there the other night and they got defeated. They were defeated straight up. It's a little different. They're at home here. The Spurs, older team without Parker. I think it's an overcorrection on the line.
Right.
I'd have to go in and take a good look, but if someone said pick a side, they're laying 2 points now. I think that's an overcorrection. I have a lean to the home team.
Lean toward the home team. You lean towards San Antonio getting the points.
The home team, Cleveland.
Covering the spread.
Yeah.
Okay. Lean towards Cleveland. Now, there is one game that you had some numbers on. Dallas at Minnesota.
Yes.
Line we've seen is Mavs laying 6.5. Not surprising. Playing on the road. T-Wolves haven't done too much this year. 207 is a total.
Okay, you have a situation here, Jarvis, where you have a team, Minnesota. They're a home underdog in the first half. and they're off of one or more consecutive losses.
Okay.
And they're playing a team that's won 9 games straight up. That's Dallas. You don't have a situation like this. You'll get a team that'll go on a run if they win 6 or 7, lose a game, then they might win 6 or 7 again. The Mavs have really been hot. So what happens is you have an over-adjustment to the line.
Okay.
The line starts to creep up. So they're a home dog of 3.5 points in the first half. By taking this system and putting it in perspective, guys, the last 5 years, this system is 28-2 ATS when playing on the home underdog in the first half. That's a very solid number. Also, if you go back 3 years, it's 18-1 against the spread. A top opinion on that. The Timberwolves plus 3.5.
Now we know with that line that the Mavs are sitting as a road favorite, but they've been so hot, one of the hottest teams in the NBA. The line could move up. Greg mentioned to me earlier that if that line can hit 4, there's even more value. We're seeing a 3.5 as the current line at halftime there, but it could hit 4. Watch that one for game time. Greg, recap your one play for the day.
Okay, we have one official selection. It's the final game on the board. Don't use it as a bailout game. It's Oral Roberts and IUPUI under the first half total. When I wagered on it, it was 62. Always shop around in the first half because you might find 61.5. Maybe you'll find 62.5 somewhere. These halftime numbers, Jarvis, they're really tightening them up and they're lowering them to a great extent. Yesterday, I'll give you a classic example real quick. Old Dominion and Virginia Commonwealth, there was 60, there was 60.5, there was 61 in the first half. 3 different books, 3 different numbers. The game landed on 61 in the first half. So shop around. Don't be lazy. If you've got 4 or 5 different accounts, go look at them all. Sometimes that half a point, especially in first half play, really makes a difference.
It could make a difference. So check this out. We've got one official play from Greg. If you want to hear more information, more stats, more systems, come by BetRepublic.com. We have got you covered. We'll see you at the website.